Good morning, and welcome to the La Escuelita Education Center. And thank you to the voters of Oakland for their support in helping us build this extremely green, award-winning education complex. My name is Jody London, and I have the pleasure of representing North Oakland District 1 on the Oakland Board of Education. I want to recognize today several of my colleagues. I want to start by recognizing Dr. Gary Yee. Gary, can you just wave? Gary did an amazing job this past year for us as our acting superintendent, and our debt of gratitude to him is huge. He was also our colleague for many years on the school board. I also want to recognize several of my other colleagues from the school board. President David Kakashiba, Director Chris Dobbins, Director Jamoke Hinton-Hodge, and to the press, I want to let you know that Director Hinton-Hodge this year is serving as the chairperson of the Council of Great Cities Schools, which is an organization of the largest urban districts in the country. And I would encourage you to seek her out because this is an eminent person to have here in Oakland in our community. And also Director Ann Campbell-Washington. It was 5 years ago, I believe to the day, I had been on the school board for 6 months. We had had a very intense first 6 months choosing the first superintendent in Oakland for many years, because 5 years ago today was when we returned to local control. And it was a very exciting moment. We have done great work since then. We have adopted a very visionary strategic plan around community schools and thriving students, and we have definitely put in place a large number of policies that are going to continue to propel us forward. Looking in particular for success for all of our students. I'm very proud in particular of our work around African American male achievement, being one of the first districts in the country to have a department focused on that. Our work around linked learning, making our high school curriculum more relevant to our students. All of these are great things from which we can build. And we're ready now to take the next steps. And when the Board of Education looked around to see who would be the right person to lead us in that effort, we came to Mr. Antwan Wilson, who you'll meet shortly. And we're very excited that Mr. Wilson is going to be able to help us continue our priorities, making sure that our students, when they graduate, are college, career, and community ready. We were very impressed by Mr. Wilson's track record of working with middle school and high school students, helping them achieve as far as they could go, and we're just very excited about it. As a parent of 2 students in this district, I'm very optimistic about what we're doing here in Oakland. I have a middle schooler and a high schooler, and every year it gets more and more interesting. So I don't want to take up a lot of time here. I just want to let you know how excited we are, and I want to introduce to you the President of the Board of Education, David Kakashiba.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to take a few moments, just give you all a little bit of background about the board's process in arriving at the selection of Mr. Antwan Wilson. The board, shortly after appointing Dr. Gary Yee as our acting superintendent, we had decided on essentially a 6-month search process that began with selecting a search firm, having that search firm meet with a couple of hundred individuals and organizations throughout the city of Oakland to identify what are the key characteristics, the most important characteristics that the people of Oakland wanted to see in their chief executive officer for the Oakland Public Schools. For what it's worth, the board has been working on an agenda for this school district, and what we were in hearing from what the public was saying, we were very pleased to find that what lots of people here in Oakland were saying was pretty much what the board was hearing over the past couple of years. And so there are 3 probably overarching characteristics that we were looking for in our chief executive officer. Number one, because as Jody London had just previously mentioned, our focus, our priority on helping to turn around our high schools to dramatically increase the high school graduation and college going rates of our young people in this city is important for them. It's important for our city and the quality of life here in the city of Oakland. Finding a chief executive that has deep experience, successful, effective practice in high school and post-secondary education was a top priority for us. Number two, that the locus of change, where change happens for young people, is in school sites and in school settings and in school communities, and that a leader must believe that supporting our schools and the people who work in those schools is what is going to provide the most direct support and guidance to our young people. And finally, it's all about the people who work in our school district ultimately. It is the adults that work in each and every one of our schools and each and every one of our departments, that to be able to support, honor, and to help the growth and professional development of our employees in our school districts, particularly in our school sites, having a leader that, again, has deep experience, knows what good looks like, knows what high quality looks like in a school and a school district, and how that transforms the experience of young people at a school was one of our top priorities. And so within that context, we pretty readily settled on Mr. Antwan Wilson as our selection. Very pleased, very excited. His first day on the job here. I think on behalf of the Board of Education, we're very excited about this, and we're looking forward to doing a lot of great work in this next period of time. Thank you.
At this point, it is my privilege to introduce to you Mr. Antwan Wilson, our new superintendent.
Good morning. I now know that there are several individuals who have nothing to do because you were able to figure out how to clear your schedules to come here for me today. I'm going to take that as an honor that you were able to do so. And I'm also going to take it as a privilege to be able to serve as your superintendent, because it says to me that what I thought to be true is true, and that there are many people with diverse perspectives, diverse backgrounds, who care about the education of young people here in Oakland. So first of all, I want to thank you. Before I say too much, I have to do this. I have to stop and just share with you a few things that it's to build context as to why I'm so excited. One, and just really appreciative of the fact that I even have an opportunity to be here. I was born in Wichita, Kansas, to a teenage mother, single-parent home. She was 19 when she had me. My mother was on her own since the age of 12. And she moved from house to house, struggling to take care of herself. And when she had me, one of the things that she really focused on is ensuring that I was centered on getting a great education. I remember starting school, and she said to me, I asked her, so how long does this school thing last? When do I get to stop? And she told me when I graduated college. And so from a very early age, I had it modeled for me and stressed upon me that I would go to college and I will graduate. And I always remember that being the perspective. And that's really why we're here now, and what led me to Oakland, is to provide an opportunity to work with the city and to really developing a vision for all young people to ensure that they are all successful, and to make sure that we are leading in such a way that says that we truly believe that this is a city that can lead the country in ensuring that every child is getting an excellent education and that they're prepared to graduate from school, college and career ready, and being productive world citizens. So I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that, as well as thanked my mother and let her know how appreciative I am of her, and then also my close friends who helped me along the way, and also my wife, Teresa, who is here as well. With that, I just want to say that I was attracted to Oakland for a number of reasons. It was mentioned that I'm coming from Denver, and Denver's a beautiful city, and I enjoyed being there. The 9 years I was there, I had a tremendous time and was able to work with a number of extremely talented individuals to make a difference on behalf of the young people there in Denver. And a major emphasis for me was to leave the city in much better position than I found it. And I feel comfortable in that we were able to do just that, and Denver will continue to prosper. But I was attracted to Oakland because of the commitment that exists here, because of the history that exists here, because of the activism that exists here, because of the diversity within the community, and what it would mean for the country if this city figures out a way to prioritize the needs of young people, to prioritize the education of those young people, all young people, regardless of where they come from, whether it be the hills or the heartlands of the city, that we prioritize ensuring that they have an opportunity to attend an excellent school, that they have an opportunity to be educated and taught by talented teachers who are supported and valued in the district, that there are staff members that interact with them up and down the system, throughout the system, from the individuals who might be greeting them when they get on a bus in the morning or serving them in the cafeteria, to the individuals who take care of their schools or order their supplies. We want to make sure that we are a district that cares about our people and attracts talented people, and not be afraid to take principle stands around saying that you should show up and work hard for our young people. It shouldn't be a surprise when we come across individuals who put in a hard day's work on behalf of young people. That's what we should expect. And so I'm really excited to be in Oakland, because what the message I got from the school board is that's what we want to be about here in Oakland, and that's what we want to lift up here in Oakland, is that perspective and be a district that leads from that perspective. There are values that impress me about Oakland, focusing on social development, preparation of college and career and life. Folks, the college and career focus is one that matters to me deeply, and I do talk about college and career. And I paint college with a very broad brush, and I want to start here today by saying that we want to make sure that our young people are prepared for 4-year institutions or 2-year institutions, 1-year certificated programs, education through the military or through their employer. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm agnostic. The point is that we want them to have a choice. And if they're not educated to have an opportunity to pursue a 4-year degree, they have no choice. They are locked out. And that becomes a challenge. And the skills that they need, regardless of the type of education they pursue and the means with which they pursue it, are the same. They need to be able to read deeply. They need to be able to write. They need to be able to problem solve. They need to be able to collaborate. They need to be able to demonstrate resilience when things do not go their way, and recognize that it's not going to be a matter of figuring things out the first time. But perfectionism does not mean that you get it right the first time. It just means that you're unwilling to live with the fact that it's not right. So we want to make sure that our young people get those skills and those traits, and we must work as a collective to get that done. And so I'm really excited, because those were the values that I saw emanate from the school board, and they were leading along those lines. And it was mentioned already around the African American male achievement work, but also just the community schools work. I think that there is a very compelling strategic plan here in Oakland that was done on the part of the past leadership here and the entire city that attracted me. I remember reading that strategic plan and saying yes, yes, and yes as I was reading it, and that was also an attraction. Folks, what we want to do is we want to be a district that is a reflection of the community, that values the community, but we also want to make sure that we are a district that is focused on ensuring that every student thrives. Every student thrives. And what that essentially means is this simple piece of: they go to a school, they are challenged, they are encouraged to be successful. We're not afraid to give them the hard message, because, folks, I can tell you, and as I mentioned, my mother, everything that she told me along the way I didn't agree with. It just turned out she happened to be right. So I am appreciative now. And we as a district have to be willing to instill that discipline in our young people, that we sometimes have to recognize that there are experiences that we have that they could not have had because they're not old enough. And we are going to be so focused on their academic achievement and their social development that we're willing to give them those hard lessons and teach those hard lessons and have those high expectations, because we know what that would mean for them in the future. What should you expect from me over the next 100 days? Folks, in the next 100 days, I'm having a number of conversations. I actually began the conversations before I began my first day. So I've had an opportunity to meet with a number of people over the last 3.5 weeks. I really appreciated those conversations. It's provided me a lot of perspective. It was important to get started before I was supposed to get started, because we want to make sure that we are not wasting time. Something that most people would be able to tell you about me is that I am an impatient person. I like to move quickly. I hear the expression, go fast, go slow to go fast, and I will tell you, when I hear that, I will look perplexed. I'm assuming that's some type of Jedi mind trick, because we need to go fast to go fast. By going slow, I believe some people maybe are talking about we need to be intentional. Yes, we need to be that. People will say we need to be strategic. Yes, we need to be that. We need to be calculated and thoughtful and have a narrow set of priorities. Yes, we need to do that. But that doesn't mean go slowly. So over the course of the next 100 days, what we are looking at is we're looking at leading a process and engaging in in conversations where we can set a strategic roadmap for implementing a strategic plan. And what that really gets down to is prioritization. We must prioritize. We can't uplift everything at the same time, in the same way, at the same speed. There are some things that just have to come first. And we need to engage in that process, and I'll be listening, and then we will begin to uplift for the community a real clear set of priorities that said this is what we are going to focus on over the next several years. We want to get great at these things, and these things are going to be foundational to ensure that our young people are put on the trajectory to be successful. Folks, I mentioned this, and I want to close this. We do want to be about hard work, but we also want to put ourselves in a position to be smarter today than we were yesterday. And what that simply means is this, that we need to be able to take the information that we have today and apply it to solutions and not allow ourselves to be held hostage by decisions we made in the past. Not because those decisions were bad, those were the right decisions to make, but with the information you had then. But as we get new information, we should then be willing to look back and assess what we're doing and say, we need to use this information in order to inform what we do today to put our students in a position to have the success that we expect for them tomorrow. So whether it's African-American male achievement and saying, well, we need to provide the same type of opportunities for African-American females, whether it's doing that for our Latino and Asian Pacific Islander or Native American students, whether it's making sure that being a middle-class student does not mean that you are not accelerated, whatever that means in terms of accepting the information, we need to be willing to look at that and apply that to the circumstances that we have today and use that to guide our work for tomorrow. Finally, folks, I want to say this. I had a young person. I've had an opportunity to engage with several young people. We have 2 student interns who actually will be working with us this summer, and I'm really excited to get to know them. But I've had an opportunity to engage with several young people, and I had a young man ask me, he said, why do you want to come to Oakland? And I'd said to him, first of all, that several of the things that I said to you about how excited I am about being at Oakland, the opportunities. But what I said is, why not Oakland? Oakland should not be surprised when individuals seek out the city and say that I want to come here and I want to be a part of the community here. Oakland should expect that there are individuals who have other opportunities who say, but this is the opportunity that excites me the most. We should expect that as a school district, as a community. We should say we're going to lead the country in this educational space, much like Oakland has led the country in so many areas that boil down to equality and civil rights. And this is a civil rights issue, the issue of educating our young people. So I want to make sure that we say that. And then lastly, folks, I want to say this. I wear just a quote on my arm every day. It just simply says, "Success for all, no excuses." And what we want to really be about is trying to find ways to take the challenges that we have out of the too hard bucket. We don't want to say, well, we can't do this or we can't focus on that for this reason or that reason. What we want to do is we want to be able to begin to recognize what we're faced with and then begin to say, well, what strategy then do we need to employ in order to move that out of the too hard bucket to get it done on behalf of young people? They're only going to be in 3rd grade one time. They're only going to be in middle school one time. And they're only going to pass through this way in high school one time. So if it becomes a situation where we keep things in a too hard bucket year after year after year, it won't be too long before those young people that we're looking at, those nice smiling faces that we're so excited to hug and kiss as they go into elementary school, that they are adults that we're looking to employ when they are coming out of our school system, whether they were successful or not. So we must make haste. We must be focused on ensuring that we aren't putting things in a too hard bucket and we don't make excuses. Yes, we need to understand reasons, but not excuses. We need to figure it out. We need to be accountable when we make mistakes, and we will make them. But at the same time, we need to recognize that those mistakes can't be the reasons to limit us and prevent us from moving forward. So with that, I want to just say how much I appreciate the board for your confidence in me, also the city for your confidence in me. I'm really excited to do the work on behalf of the city of Oakland. Most importantly, the students and families of Oakland. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you. And with that, I'll just turn it back over.
This is a press conference, so we're now going to take 15 or 20 minutes of questions from the media. Your turn, media. Ms. Tucker.
Yeah, thank you. So the question was just mentioned about my conversation around priorities and just what would I put at the top of the list of priorities. There'll be a few things. One would be really investing in people. Investing in people, what that basically means is making sure that our people have access to training, that they get access to observation and feedback that focus on their development. Whether that be teachers, whether that be our school leaders, whether that be the people who are supporting our teachers and school leaders, that we have to be about that and make sure that that's something that's reflected throughout the system. Another piece is culture, that we really have to invest in being a values-based organization and coming together around a common set of values, and then using those values to help shape the actions that we take, the policies that we take. We need to prioritize communities of professional learning, of professional practice. And that's what that's about when you're talking about culture, when you're talking about investing in people. And then this other piece is just around quality school development. If we are willing to accept low-performing schools, if we're willing to accept low-performing practice, we've lost. And so it's really about that. How do we begin to position Oakland to be one that focuses on quality schools up and down the line? And so those are the priorities. And luckily, I walked into a district that had called out those priorities as things to focus on. Yeah, back there.
What are the challenges you expected to face working with the district of Oakland?
Well, you know, the question was just around the challenges that I expect to face working in Oakland. And, you know, what I would say is this, that Oakland is a district like many urban districts that have many opportunities. And those opportunities come when you have passionate people who have strong opinions about what should happen in the best interest of young people. So I look at that opportunity as something that we'll have to navigate, because when anytime you talk about priorities, that basically means that there's something that is deprioritized. And we're going to have to work to help people understand what that means, because everything that people would want to lift up on behalf of young people, most of those things no one would disagree with as important things. And part of what we have to do is help the community really begin to think about, if we want to have anything for our young people at scale, we have to really begin to say that there are a few things that we must have first. And I think that that's an opportunity that I look forward to, but I also recognize with that opportunity, it's a challenging proposition to get people there. And I think that's the biggest thing that I'm thinking about around this work. The other things are things that I've seen in several districts and states that I've been in, and they'll come up. I mean, you know, just how we deal with the work that we need to do to make sure that young people feel supported, and there are tragedies that happened, and we're going to feel really bad around that, and we're going to have to work around that and try to partner with our partners to prevent it, those types of things. So those things we know that we're going to face, but the biggest opportunity around the difference of perspectives and how we help people recognize that if we're going to be great, it has to be a few priorities. Yes.
What kind of things would this district or any district be tempted to think of as too hard in that bucket of too hard?
Well, I think that the types of things that Yeah. The question was just around what types of things this district or any district might find is too hard to look at. You know, I think that one of the things that districts are looking at around the country, and they don't want to open up any can of worms here, but it's just the idea of increasing expectations and raising expectations around student academic achievement. I think that often gets put in the too hard bucket, particularly when you start talking about certain circumstances that young people face. And I don't want to pretend those circumstances aren't real. I can tell you that it was very hard for me to concentrate at times when I know that I was going to bed hungry, or that we were having our house heated because we were running an extension cord to the neighbor's house. And so there were certain parts of the house that were just cold. I can tell you, though, that what led to me standing here in front of you was the fact that my mother still expected me to write the paper, and the teacher still expected me to have the math assignment done. So they certainly it certainly helped me to come across individuals who had that type of empathy and recognized that there were times where I was dealing with those circumstances. But a lot of times, cities and districts put that in a too hard bucket, and we lower expectations for young people because they're facing those circumstances, and we just can't do that. Yes.
Is there a possibility then that you would reach beyond the school district and go into the community and maybe have meetings or whatever to talk to parents about the value of education, and given their circumstances, that, like you say, a lot of these kids come from violent neighborhoods that are run down, they're trying their best, but they got the deck stacked against them in many ways. How are you going to go beyond the school district to get into the community?
So the question was just about reaching out to and going out to people where they're at and beyond the school district and reaching out to the community. You know, what I would say is first and foremost, that was another thing that attracted me here to Oakland, is the focus on community schools. And what we want to do is define that and make sure that everyone understands that. To me, it essentially means that the schools are a reflection of the community, and they are there to meet the needs that exist throughout the community, and to provide the types of services and support that the community, that various communities may need, and may differ by region of the city. And so absolutely, we're looking forward to the conversations that we'll be having over the next several days and months that will put me in positions and us in positions to have exactly those conversations. And priority one is that really solidifying the leadership structure, leadership team throughout the district, and we all work together in collaboration with the directors behind me to ensure that our voices are heard. We will visit schools. We will meet with teachers. We will be talking to families, and we will be talking to students, and we will be talking to community-based organizations. We will take that information, we will be synthesizing that, and we'll say, this is where we're going. And what we won't do is we won't compromise on lowering expectations, and we won't compromise because there are challenges. We will embrace those and recognize those and do the work on behalf of the city that needs to be done. Yes. So the question was just, where do charter schools fit into the vision for the district? You know, what I would say is this. Oakland is a district that serves over 40,000 students, and I'm not missing my math. We are responsible. The district certainly has voted to authorize schools, and some of those schools are charter schools. And what I would say is that we take that authorization of schools extremely seriously. Those are our students. Those are Oakland students, and we are partnering with those schools to ensure that they provide a great education. So what I would say is, regardless of school type, our focus is on quality schools. And if you happen to be in a charter school, we want to ensure that the same values that we espouse for district-run schools are expressed and demonstrated in our charter schools. And if you're a charter school and you're taking care of business and ensuring that those young people are placed on the path, the trajectory of being college and career ready, we want to support that. If you are a district-run school, which most of our students are in district-run schools, then we need to have those same expectations, and we will have those same expectations. And so my focus is much less on school governance and much more on school quality. And luckily, again, I walked into a school district those were the messages that I heard, was school quality. As a matter of fact, one of the board priorities is around quality schools and quality school development, which is something that excited me about being here in Oakland. Yeah, so the question was just around graduation rates and our success in Denver and how do you do that. You know, my experience around the graduation rate, first and foremost, is about calling it out as an expectation. And then from there, it's about organizing the district to understand the students, to begin to, so just to be really granular, there are some specific things that we're looking at making sure that we have dashboards to know exactly where our students are at in terms of their success in school, their credit accumulation, and taking that and stretching that back to primary school, so that we can begin to identify where students are being successful and try to find ways to accelerate them, and begin to identify from a very early age where students that might begin to show indications of not being successful and intervene quickly. It's about the partnerships with families and communities, and making sure that they understand the expectations, but also have access to the supports and services that would allow them to support our efforts to keep young people in school. It's recognizing that our young people do have influences outside the school, and some of those influences can be counter to their health and counter to their desire to graduate, and recognizing those as real, so that then it's about partnering with community-based organizations and with the city and with post-secondary institutions to provide relevance, to provide alternatives for those young people, and putting them in a position where they can find that it's cool to be in school. And it's also safe, and it's also conducive to their success as future adults and professionals. So it's that type of thing, and my experience says that's not a sprint. We must run and move quickly, but it is a marathon. It's a marathon for the lives of our young people throughout the city of Oakland, and it's a marathon that we intend to win.
Do you have any plans or plans ahead about how to support low-income families or the students?
So the question was just around supporting low-income families and students. And you know, what I would just say is this, that we have to recognize that there are families who are struggling. I do believe that's where those partnerships come in with the city. That is where the partnerships come in with community-based organizations, recognizing the need that those families have, and making sure that school is true. What's true about school for those families is that it's safe, that it's a place that young people feel valued and feel welcomed and wanted, and that the schools are focused on helping them get an education. And if that means being available for the family, then we want to do that. And just a specific example is one of the things that we've done in Denver that I led. I started as a principal, and we did this in all of our schools, that priority schools, is we required them to have parent community centers that were reaching out and targeting families and just saying, hey, we're available to help you with the types of things that you may need help with, whether that be accessing city services or accessing what we have here in the school. And we want to do that here in Oakland, and we want to work towards that throughout all of our schools. So, folks, I want to say thank you. Appreciate the questions, and just appreciate the opportunity to lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Wilson, and thanks to all of you for making time in your day to meet and greet our new superintendent and welcome him so well. Once again, on behalf of the Board of Education, we're really excited about our work to build a district that's a full-service community school district where our students are college, career, and community ready. There's so many exciting things happening that I don't want to take all day, but look for us this summer and definitely stay in tune. Thank you.